Up and running. I see some people are waiting. It's early Sunday morning. It is the 3rd of April, 2022. And I just had to come out and set my position straight on this. Not that anybody cares, but I thought I'd bring it up anyway. Two things have happened in the last 24 hours amongst our former and retired and reserve military. And, you know, I have to explain what I've been up to here with these folks, especially Tulsi Gabbard, and how I'm viewing her at this moment in time. First of all, let me mention that Adam Kinzinger is calling out a lot of things against Russia. And it's interesting that when you're in a situation like this, you point the fingers at the other guy and you conveniently forget your own culpability. And I'm really sick and tired of that. You cannot tell somebody else to clean up their house if you have shit laying around in your house. And that's all the Americans do anymore, the U.S. government. That's all they do. They're always pointing fingers at somebody else and yet doing the exact same thing they accuse everybody else of. And yes, I'm being straightforward. Adam Kinzinger, you need to start exposing what our government has been doing at war with us, really for the last several decades, but particularly the last 2 years. And I could point out 9/11, but last 2 years or should be in everybody's mind. But what's been going on, the destruction of our economy and our livelihoods and our families, etc. And now the blatant disregard for infant life, etc. All of that. But he wants to come after Putin and against those who are calling this whole thing out for not exposing what our criminal politicians have been using the Ukraine for, and the biolabs, and the fact that NATO's been encroaching on the borders of Russia for a long time, and if they were doing the same to us, we would do something similar to what's happening now. We're hypocrites. And Kinzinger, I'm calling you out. Now the next one is Tulsi Gabbard. As most of you know, I've had a lot of respect for her. I've hoped that she was doing things for the right reason. I've given her a lot of latitude because of the things she says. And I said, I will judge her by her fruits. And when her fruits no longer pan out, I'm going to have to make sure that I make a statement. So again, if you are taking any word from any military, if they're active, reserve, guard, retired, all of those people are under the UCMJ and really have to be careful about what they say. And I understand that. But if you can't call out the truth of a situation, then it's probably best you just keep your mouth shut. And that's what's now happened with Tulsi. She said a lot of good things about coming against the Biden administration, how they've handled things with all sorts of policies without actually calling him out, which I understand are the UCMJ. She's a lieutenant colonel in the MPs, in the reserves. She has to watch out for not saying anything against the commander-in-chief. I understand that. She can say a few things, and I understand that. But now we have another problem, and that is her affiliation with the WEF. And you all should know what I'm talking about, with Mr. Schwab. I know that she's been one of the young global leaders. She went through the program. I understand a lot of people have called me out for saying, Roy, why are you trusting her? She's like all those others that have gone through the program, and they even include Putin on that. But regardless, she was saying a lot of the right things, so I thought she might be pulling back from that and being willing to call out the truth. Well, this morning I see a tweet from her where she's saying that Putin has started this aggressive war against Ukraine, and he needs to stop because he's really hurting the people in his country and causing problems. Tulsi Gabbard, I now have to say that you're nothing more than WEF and DOD propaganda, playing the good guy in a Mutt and Jeff routine, and I'm really disappointed. You would call out Putin and not talk about all the things that NATO has done to encroach on Russia's borders. What about the Red Army, Tulsi Gabbard? What about all of those other things that NATO has done over the years, putting weapons on the border, and this whole thing of Soros and NATO and Nuland overthrowing the elected government of Ukraine in 2014, and then starting a war there and killing the people in eastern Ukraine, in the Donbass region. The fact that there are actual Nazis there that we have been supporting. No, you don't want to talk about that. You don't want to talk about that because then you'll get in trouble because you're now proven to be a propaganda arm. And I'm really disappointed, but I shouldn't be surprised. Again, I was wrong about you. I just had to wait, give you a chance to do the right thing, and you didn't. What about the Bidens and their corruption in Ukraine? What about the biolabs? You've talked about that, but you refuse to put blame on the DOD, the CIA, etc., NIH, etc. So I gave you a chance to do the right thing. You should have called out the WEF, for instance. I've texted you, tweeted you rather, many times saying, you know, to really show what side you're on and to be honest, you need to call out what's happening with Schwab and the WEF and the NWO and the UN. You need to call it out. You were there. It's time for you to expose it. You can do that without violating the UCMJ, unless there's something hidden in some NDA somewhere that you've got. But you don't, which was the first indication to me that there might be a problem. But I could understand you treading lightly there. But now, with this statement on Putin, no, you're not giving substantive information and evidence. You're delivering propaganda, and I no longer trust you. Just like I don't trust Kinzinger or any of these other people. I'm really disappointed, but I shouldn't be surprised. So today, I now have decided, me, you know, like it really matters, but I will not support you any longer. You're a liar and a hypocrite just like all the others, and you're pretending to be something you're not, and you're playing both sides so that you can get involved and make people think that you're a good person, and you're not. If you don't call out the WEF and Schwab, and if you don't, and I know under the UCMJ you've got to be careful how you do it, but you cannot be supporting Ukraine and what they're doing right now and finding all fault with Putin. You can't do that and be an honest person. That's all I got to say. Am I upset? Yeah, I am, because, you know, I keep thinking maybe somebody in this God-forsaken government will say the right thing, and they never do. We're on our own, ladies and gentlemen. Do not trust any of these people. I mean, any of them. Prep, pray, stay out of the way, get your houses in order, and get ready, because we're going down. And Tulsi Gabbard, you're helping to make it happen. Out here, everybody. Take care.